In the shadowy corners of power and influence, where the lines between truth and deception blur, lies a world that few dare to explore. Join us as we venture into the labyrinth of the unspoken, the hidden, the deliberately obscured. We shine a light on the dogma that's been fed to the masses, unmasking the intricate web of deception spun by those who wish to control you. Welcome to Beyond Undisclosed. The truth is waiting.
If I was to write a news story about God, it involves who? Well, that's God. What? Creation. Where? A universe near you. Why? He was lonely. How? Is Darwin's theory. How he created it is a description of Darwin's theory. It is part of the story. You cannot remove one element of a story and then try to use that for an argument against it.
I would. You can't, there's no way that anyone can prove the existence of God. Period. It's always a paradox. So that's the nature of the material mind. Darwin's theory is there's elements of truth, but that are going on there, but the creation of man and sentient beings is a higher aspect of that was created in God's image. So,
well, my point was only the fact that there's 5 elements or 6 elements to a story. You can't take one of the elements out and then use that for an argument against the story itself. Darwin's theory, whether it is a feeble attempt or an excellent attempt, is an actual description of how he did it.
Well, it doesn't describe how he did it. No one can know how he did it, but I would say there's a logical, reason-based human perception of that. So I'll definitely give you kudos and agreement on a certain level of that. Let's digress. Let's not digress too much. I want to go into understanding the Creator's Son. So within your body, you have cells and bacteria that live and die. There's a whole ecosystem inside you. The same thing is going on in the entire galaxy. There's like a grand man of the heavens. There's various constellations that would represent the pineal gland, and those would be in the center of the galaxy. Our galaxy, for people to know, is about 110,000 light years across. And the center of the galaxy is a giant area that we call the pleroma, or there's a giant black hole. And the event horizon from here to there is about 25,000 light years from our quadrant of the galaxy looking in. Far on the other side, they have 25,000 years. In the center of the galaxy is an unknown area, which we should not even attempt to try to think about at this point in time in our understanding of the cosmogenesis of the universe. But I'm giving a very short, cliff-noted version. There's a book called the Urantia book, which basically details the galaxies, the various beings and evolution and the dimensions, and what we would call the Creator's Son influence in the material worlds. It can't contain everything, and it's basically a story to let you know that the universe is under control of God, and God's control is exhibited through his creation. He's allowed free will in this galaxy for all beings as they move up the scale in their evolution. Mankind is an aggregate of consciousness, as the Buddhists call it. And there's various things called skandhas or attachments that each of these various bodies. So we have a physical body, we have an emotional body, we have a mental body, we have an intuitional body, we have a cosmic body, we have a soul body, and then we have what we call the logos, or the logos means word. And the universe was created, it's sound, frequency. In the beginning was the Word was with God. So we are all reflections and all part and parcel of that universal creative force of God. The number one force, which we would look at in the galaxy, the most numerable course would or partial would be called chaos. The most powerful is love. That's what binds things together, and that's what the Venusian mission is about. It's about love. It's about mankind understanding his true history. So, as I said, they work clandestinely behind the scenes, living and walking amongst us. They can become invisible. They can stand next to you. They can come into your home. They can telepathically help you. If you're praying to God, God sends his angels. Angels are messengers. And the Venusians are definitely the angel force most involved on the earth, and I've been fortunate to meet them.
Let me ask this
So
question.
I think I can start sharing some stuff now on screen.
Is their message something that anybody that is receptive can actually pick up on and have influence in their behavior, or by natural progression of decision, or is this something that is specific to individuals?
Okay, it's for everyone. It's like the message of Christ. In their terms, what happened was the Sunat Kumara has been incarnating on this world in various forms as a human, living but having influence, as all of these masters do. If you're going to teach on a planet, you have to come down and become one of them. So there's a lot of teachers, and I'm not going to go into those and start inflaming people till they get more information for themselves. So let me share my website, and so if you can put me on screen share, and then I'm going to play some of the Venusian messages that were given to me. I'll play a little PowerPoint here too, but first I'm going to show my website. So let me know when you've got me screen shared.
You're all in. Go ahead.
Okay, you can see my website here. I'm going to move it around. Okay. So this is my website. It's called thepromiserevealed.net. And we're going to look at this is my home page here. So I'm just going to scroll down. This is my summer conference. We're going to go here in a minute. I have a lot of great people up here. Unfortunately, they put out, call your back in. It's ridiculous. I'm very bad at tech, folk. If anyone wants to help me with my website, I'd appreciate it. So this is kind of my story. I do sell technology that was given to us from the Pleiadians. This is my book, and you can see the recorded messages and some of the messages there. I have a Truth References blog, each with different sections in here. They're quite interesting. And if you come down here, there are a lot of technology and amazing things to let you know. Now, I really suggest if you come onto my website, you get my free basic membership and join this for free. Okay? So I come down here. I have a Bright Neon channel that's, I can talk about things that governments and censors don't want to hear. And then I have a YouTube channel with many different categories. I have a Facebook page. So I'm going to take you now to my summer conference real quickly for those who might be interested to come to Mount Shasta this summer. If you don't have a lot of money, I do have camping available for $200 for 5 days. And you can look over here up on the top, and you can volunteer for free tickets. I'm not going to go into these, but you can read these. You can fill out a form. You're required to pay me $100, which you get after your last shift, because people say I'm going to come and they never do. So this is my contact. You can always send me messages if you'd like to become a vendor. I have every Airbnb, hotel, motel, and bed and breakfast, campsites, etc. We're going to be staying at a place on the mountain that is about 6 miles from any other place. It's very dark up there. We do have lights in the buildings, but it's completely dark. You're going to be wandering in nature. We're going to have musicians. We're going to have drum circles. We're going to have fire circles. And we're going to have extraterrestrials are present. They're always there. We're going to have workshops. The schedule's not up. The speakers are there. And I will have catered meals. That's going to be changing. I'm working on that now. So this is gonna, you can get your tickets here. They're currently $300. They will go up. That's for 4 days. If you want to camp, it's an extra $200, or you could pay for a room. Unfortunately, I live kind of far away in Northern California. The closest airport is in Redding, about an hour away, and the next closest airport is in Medford, Oregon, an hour and 45. The next closest is Sacramento, and the far one is San Francisco. So I suggest if you're coming from far away, you fly into Sacramento, it's only a 3.5-hour drive. You fly into San Francisco, you got to wrestle with that crazy traffic down there, and it's a 5.5-hour drive. We're suggesting everyone arrives on the 17th to show up for the 4-day conference. I will be selling shorter days coming up very soon. If you want to come for a 3 days, 2-day, or 1-day ticket, they're going to be more expensive, and pretty much you may as well buy a 4-day ticket if you're doing a 3-day, something like that. I don't know what I do. So there's a lot of information here. So now I'd like to share with you, I'm going to play a voice recorded message, and I'm going to ask you, Alan, to let me know if the video goes. I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint while I'm playing this message about the Venusians, and I'm going to tell you the PowerPoint, unfortunately, is an old one, and I need to change my email address is different, but the email here is correct that you see right here. That's the website. You could take a picture of that, and you could get to the actual conference. So I'm going to just take it back to my home page on my regular home page here, and Alex Collier was coming, and he didn't. And they changed the thing. It's I have developers, and it's not really great. I'm not the greatest with technology. So I'm going to pull up a Venusian message, and this is how I had the message. The messages came to me. My friend Raymond Keller, we're talking on the phone. They monitor our conversations, and he talked about a book I found. It was called Flying Saucers Close Up by John W. Dean, and it was published back in the 60s. And I was, wow, I've read this book. I was looking online. It said they were able to, people were able to write letters to the Venusians. So I asked Raymond about it, and he was speaking, and a Venusian came up to him at a table and gave him, it said, good for one trip to Venus. And she gave him this book. Can you see my face at all up there on the screen?
Yes, we can see you just fine. You got your
Okay.
and also the web page. So let me go ahead and expand that for you.
Okay. So that's okay. So you can see this image, this book. So they gave it to Raymond, and he sent it to me. And as I looked through this, this is about the early days of contactees, and a lot of great information in there. If you never get that book, it's a very good book with a lot of technical information as well. And in this book, they ask questions. Now, shortly after that, I had a conference, my first one, where Raymond would come to me in 2018. And this is the message that was shared with me. I'm going to play it for you here. This is the message that was shared with me. It was shared on Jeff Rense Radio. Okay? So it's called the Valentine's Message. She sent me, you can see here, she sent me personal messages. That's a voice recorded. This I'll play this one if we have time. So Valentine's Day. So I'm going to let you listen to this message, and I'm going to share a PowerPoint, and I'm going to ask for those who have video access to this. You can read the information and realize, some of the banner's gone. I'm not sure if I'm going to play Raymond's. I'll probably play Raymond's Disappearing Act. He's been given a technology, but I'll maybe go through this. So this is kind of a short message, but you can hear this is the Queen Orda of Venus giving the first voice recorded message that I've ever heard officially given to the public, and it was done when my friend Raymond Keller, who lived on Venus for 2.5 months, was on a show called Jeff Rents. And then they've given me a lot of messages since. So listen to this, and let me know by your hand if you can hear this. Just give me a thumbs up if you hear this message. Okay. Uh-oh, that's not up there. So I'm going to have to go into, I'll have to go into another PowerPoint down here. Okay, so let me see here. I can't play that one to public. Oh no. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to have to, let's see if I have this other, I think I have this in the PowerPoint. So I'm going to bring up the other PowerPoint. Let me put that down. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to play this one now, and I'll get to that message here, and you can, it's actually in here. So let's go in here. I'm going to play current slide. So you can see I do have pyramid systems. I take sacred site tours to Peru, Bolivia, Egypt, Hawaii. I speak around the world in Japan, etc. So lots of technologies here. Been doing this for a long, long time.
Next time you go Peru, you know, tell me. I'll make sure that I turn myself into a piece of luggage in order to go with you.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive down there. It's about $1,500 for me round trip. So these people who know about Dr. Frank Stranges, we'll get into him. These are some prayers that I share. I do kind of use this at my summer conference. So I'm going to, let's see, where does that go? I have to go, where'd that go? Let me get that up there. Okay, so there's a spiritual component. Okay, people ask for evidence and proof. This is an adept, a high spiritual master. He's finished his last lifetime here, and he will be translating to Venus or be evacuated, and he will come back, and he promised he'd come back with me in one of the young bodies. So I'm just going to share this with you, and you can believe it or not, but it was given a security device, and I'll explain that in the later part of this PowerPoint. So what's happening here, he's working in a Christian group, and he's helping drive people around who don't have money or cars to hospitals, doctor, food, social events. The guy that was working with him, he told him about this, and he said, I'm going to demonstrate it for you. And the guy says, he said, there'll be a buffer behind me. He goes, what do you mean? He said, there'll be a space behind me. You can't see anything. So the guy says, okay, well, I have some Christmas lights, laser system. That's not part of this technology, but the guy turned it on. And so now Raymond's going to adjust his security device, and this can move, this can actually change into a transportation vehicle. This technology is not given to anyone. Some people take it and go rob a bank. So that's that. I'm not going to play it anymore. I'm going to let you make your own decision on that. So I'm just telling people, just recently, they asked me to announce that I am an official designated representative of the Galactic Confederation of Light. The Galactic Confederation of Light is the federation that we will join, a confederation that we will join when we end wars and we get to a certain level of stabilization. Right now we're in transition, okay? So I've been a face-to-face contactee of the Pleiadians and Venusians since I was about 17 years old. So I've had telepathic contacts and other things of this nature throughout my life. And this last Easter, my birthday falls on March 31st. So every 7 years, I have a birthday that falls actually on Easter. I was born at 2:20 a.m. I woke up at 2 a.m. I went to the bathroom and I came back and I had a very powerful experience. For anyone who knows about the Master Babaji, he taught some very powerful meditation And for those of you Christians who are just going to turn it off, go ahead, bye-bye. But if you want to learn about the truth of God, the same meditation that Jesus taught, you might want to listen. So Babaji is an ascended master, and he appeared to me one day, and he taught me that the energy follows thought, and if I take my eyes and look into the top of my head, my awareness focused on my pineal gland, that's what I did. I was going into it, energy was hitting my body. I went into my Kriya technique, and a voice said, I need to step into my position as a manager. And, I've said I had contacts, that's enough. But they said, make an announcement. It's real. You've been having this experience. You've been granted physical face-to-face interviews. You're getting messages. You are a representative. You are an emissary, and you need to let these messages stand on their own. So that's what I'm doing now on my website. I'm putting these up, and these come directly from what we call the hierarchy of light, or the angel force. And we have various angels. Angels means messenger, and the Queen makes that clear. And for you Christians, they talk a lot about the Bible, so you might want to tune in a little longer. But if your cup is full and you know everything is done, if you say Jesus Christ, you accept him. Well, I'm telling you, a lot of the churches, a lot of the closed-minded priests who like to tell you what God's thinking, you don't need him. That's what Christ taught. He told the authorities, get away from me, you wretches. Everyone has their own right to connect to God, and you're not to tell them what and how that contact will be. God is within you and without you. And you need to balance that viewpoint. I don't mean to be angry or anything, but, I'm just kind of really sad at the limited viewpoints of these secular religionists, whether they're Buddhist, Muslim, Christian. Most of them are very close-minded, and they have to follow their teaching. It's about ego. It's about control. And trust me, the entire story is not in any book. It's in the Holy Spirit. Okay, so the voice told me I need to rethink how I'm presenting this information. This is less than pretty recent, folks, 20 days ago. They told me I need to declare with more confidence and publicly. There's no more time to hesitate. And the voice said, my spirit has been pouring out upon all flesh. In your heart, you know this, and you further know that things are going to ramp up in the public awareness. There's a lot of things that are going to be taking place.
Something that strikes me, and this is based on the question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go in. I need to continue this. I'm not going to break this up here, if you don't mind. It says, you've been prayed your entire life, and now it's time for the important information to be heard by the faithful. It's time to speak now. I've never had an interactive exchange like this. It's usually a Venusian or a download, as I would call them, a telepathic. But the Venusians guide me and speak about various things and operations in the past, in fact, my entire life. There are also private lessons which I incorporate into my ministry with my students. This was so different, so powerful. I said, who are you? The voice said, I am that I am. I am what I am becoming or will be. I did not doubt I was talking to God, but I've never had this relationship. I've felt the Holy Spirit, but it was actually speaking to me. Okay, call me crazy. Let it go, but for those who have ears, hear. I said, what do you might say? He said, tell them about me. How then I can tell you about the unknowable, the infinite creator within all form yet transcendent and all beyond all. It says, you know your dialogues with my angels have led you to the truth. You've done well and written the introduction to the Gospel of Thomas, and you know me as the Creator's Son. The Father and I are one. You know this to be true. This is what I want you to do. I want you to announce that you're officially designated messenger of the Galactic Confederation of Light. I want you to share each and every message that has been entrusted to you to share them as is. You're to play these messages in recorded form, except those with the Commander Reigns, for reasons you are not to delineate. However, those who wish can purchase this video version. You can explain to them, and this will help you personally through what we know. Personally, though we know you do not do this for money. You are to play these messages only and let these messages stand alone. Disable comments and trust I will guide those with ears to hear these important messages. You can do videos separate from this and add to your comments and let your audience know how you receive these messages. You have grown more assured and patient now, and I know you will not let me down. Never defend the truth as it will be. it to be you have suffered personally, and you are already and you are ready to share what you know. I was then instructed on various lessons to share and to educate people on other more political aspects, to ask them to understanding how the people can prepare to understand the tremendous changes the world is about to go through. God has asked me to support this ignorant humanity to understand the truths I've struggled and learned to be of service for. And to my fellow man, it's now time to put it all together the best I can to help through these difficult days ahead. Brothers and sisters, we're about to enter the tribulation period in the Bible that will last 7 years. I do not know exactly when it will start, but it will start soon within the next 10 years, and the earth will go through some very challenging times. I implore you to look to God and to seek truth with all your heart and every ounce of strength within your soul. Please follow the example of the life lived by the highest possible incarnation of anything, any being in the third dimension, and live as lived by the living Word of God, the incarnation of the one we now call Jesus Christ. I'll share now about the Venusians and how I met them. So this is my Meet the Venusians. So I've met them my whole life, but I had an interview with the moon-based commander, Aura Raines. I showed you her picture briefly. She's been in service to the Earth for 300 years. They allowed this to be officially recorded in what is now the first official contact to the people of Earth in recent history. This was done in support of the efforts of Dr. Keller and Robert and me to share the reality of the Venusians. This long-awaited message is confirming our friends from Venus are real, and they have good intentions toward all mankind. Their love for us all and their support for the dissemination of truth directly to the people. We are in contact. So there's a picture of Raymond and I together in Mount Shasta. He's a very spiritual man. He's very kind. He's very gentle. And you get a feeling of you want to protect him like a baby. He never speaks ill of another person. And he has a very generous and loving heart. His answers are always yes, yes, yes. So he's written 11 of these books. Right here you see 3. The first 3. This is the history of the second planet. These are not books. These are all annotated. This dude is incredible. This picture, I'll briefly tell you. You saw that device? This picture was taken on Earth in 1954 from a timeline of 2013 when Raymond went to Venus. You're going to have to buy the book. I don't make money on these books. They're for him. I do sell them on my website. You can get them on Amazon as well. My website, thepromiserevealed.net. Again, this is not about money, but this is a full-time job. My conference deserves to be paid money. If you want to come, I'm not a millionaire. I got to pay lots of expenses, sound, a lot of things going on here. So if you want to come, unfortunately, you have to pay. These 2 women here are ascended masters. The woman on the left was born in 1902. In 1929, at the age of 27, during the Great Depression in the 30s, she went to India. She had a great deal of compassion. She wanted to help the poor people starving in the Andhra Pradesh region of India, in the high Himalayas, at the foothills of the Ganges, in a town called Hardwar and Lakshman Jhula. And while she was there serving in the Christian Socialist movement, she met this woman. The woman on the right, her name is Lady Aurora now. The woman on the left is Lady Columba. You'll notice they're wearing red berets. And they also have golden bee pins. I've spoken about the bees in relationship to Venus. And when they're on an official mission to the Earth, they wear these cute little outfits. And we may be seeing more of them. Most people would not recognize that they're Venusians, even though they'd be wearing this, though you may recognize some of them someday. The story is this woman was born in 1885, and at some point in her life, in the 30s, she was taking a group of Indian colonialists seeking their corrupt control of India in its beginnings, and she acted as a trekker guide, taking them into the high Himalayas above Lakshman Jhula and Hardwar. She had been trekking with them for probably 2 or 3 weeks into Badrinath and some of these higher elevations of where some of these spiritual sadhus and masters were living. And on the way down, there was a beggar on the side of the road, and he had a lame leg. And she stopped. She was leading the caravan, and she said, "Oh my God, we must help this man." And the East India guy says, "You may give him some water and food. We must go immediately." And she said, she pointed down the hill. "We are only hours away from Lakshman Jhula or Hardwar, wherever they were coming down." He says, "If you do not take us the rest of the way, you will not get paid." Remember Hebrews 13:2? "Be ye kind to strangers, lest ye entertain angels unawares." And she decided, she said, "Then you leave without me." And she